There was once a famous research scientist who had made several very important medical breakthroughs. He was being interviewed by a newspaper reporter who asked him why he thought he was able to be so much more creative than the average person and what set him so far apart from the others. He responded that in his opinion, it all came from an experience with his mother that occurred when he was a very young boy. He had been trying to remove a bottle of milk from the refrigerator when he lost his grip on the slippery bottle and it fell, spilling its contents all over the kitchen floor, a veritable sea of milk. When his mother came into the kitchen, instead of yelling at him and giving him a lecture or punishing him, she said, "Robert, what a great and wonderful mess you have made. I have rarely seen such a huge puddle of milk. Well, the damage has already been done. Would you like to get down and play in the milk for a few minutes before we clean it up?" Indeed, he did. And after a few minutes, his mother said, "You know, Robert, whenever you make a mess like this, eventually you have to clean it up and restore everything to its proper order. So how would you like to do that? We could use a sponge, a towel, or a mop. Which do you prefer?" He chose the sponge, and together they cleaned up the spilled milk. His mother then said, "You know, what we have here is a failed experiment in how to effectively carry a big milk bottle with two tiny hands. Let's go out in the backyard and fill the bottle with water and see if you can discover a way to carry it without dropping it." The little boy learned that if he grasped the bottle at the top, near the lip, with both hands, he could carry it without dropping it. What a wonderful lesson! This renowned scientist then remarked that it was at that moment that he knew he didn't need to be afraid to make mistakes. Instead, he learned that mistakes were just opportunities for learning something new, which is, after all, what scientific experiments are all about. Even if the experiment doesn't work, we usually learn something valuable from it. Every single one of us are going to go through times in our life when the milk is spilt. Now, maybe you're the one that spills the milk, or it could be spilt on you by someone else. It really doesn't matter. But the question is, how are you going to react when it happens? Just a few weeks ago, I had taken the family out. We had gone out to eat. We picked up a few groceries at the grocery store, and we were headed on our way home. What I assumed would be a short 15-minute ride, and we would be safely home. We were just 2 stoplights away from the freeway. I'd come to a stop, and without a second's notice, I was screamed from the back. That vehicle that hit me in the back pushed me into the vehicle in front of me. There was 3 of us in that accident. It's the only accident that I've really been in. At that moment, your adrenaline kicks in high gear. Having 6 children, they were screaming and crying in the back of the van. They didn't realize what had happened. All they knew is that their back and neck was now hurting because they had gone through major whiplash. Well, obviously, we jumped out of the vehicle after we managed to get the vehicle off to the side of the road, and I told Misty, I said, "Call 911. She got on the phone, and I managed to get the door open on the driver's side. We pulled one child out after another of the vehicle, and we got them off to the side of the road, and we began to quiet and calm them down. A good Samaritan named Julie saw what was going on. She had 5 children of her own. She was by herself that night, and she realized what we were going through. She stopped and picked my wife up and the children, and they went on their way to the hospital to get checked out. The milk had been spilt big time that night. Misty had already gone to the hospital, and I was staying with the vehicle, waiting for the police report and waiting for them to come tow my van away. I was standing around there talking to the gentleman behind me and then the girl that I had hit in front. And we were just carrying on a casual conversation, and I realized that no one had gotten out of their vehicle. and was screaming or yelling or cursing at each other, we had all kept a good attitude. I thanked them for that. You may have seen that happen before, where there's been a wreck and someone jumps out and they start screaming and yelling. We're all going to have milk spilt on us at some point in your life. Those moments are when your true character are revealed. We can either be like Robert, where we can use those moments as stepping stones and we can learn from them, or they can actually become stumbling blocks and set us back. The choice, it's up to you. So I'll leave you with this question. How will you respond the next time the milk gets spilt on you?